What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my Strikeforce Lawler vs. Shields review video. If you hadn't had a chance to see these fights, please make sure you go check them out. It was a good night of fights. I actually watched it on MMA TV with a couple guys here in the MMA YouTube community. I'm going to work my way from the bottom of the main card to the top like I normally do as far as reviewing. First fight of the night, Kevin Randleman taking on Mike Whitehead. For the most part, all Mike Whitehead, he controlled the stand-up, the clinch, the wrestling, which was really impressive. He had a couple good singles and doubles in this fight. Was working some effective ground and pound inside of Randleman's guard. A couple of the takedowns that Whitehead got, Randleman actually used what's called the elevator, where you buck your hips when a guy explodes to the side of you. You roll him over, you get into north-south, and you can either go back to your feet, or you can choose to get side control. Whitehead really, like I said, controlled all aspects of this fight in the first and the second. Even in the third, had good leg kicks, good inside leg kicks, good 1-2 combinations. Randleman really gassed hard after the first, and really didn't show anything impressive until the third. He threw a left hook that dropped Whitehead. He had a golden opportunity to finish the fight and didn't. And Mike Whitehead goes on to win a unanimous decision, so congratulations to him. Hopefully he'll come back strong. He gassed after the late part of the second, so hopefully he'll work on his cardio a little bit for when he fights some other guys. Randleman, he'll be back, whether it's in Strikeforce or another promotion. Someone will bring him back in, and hopefully when he cuts to 205 again, or if he goes to heavyweight, he'll improve on his cardio, because that's always been his Achilles heel in fights. Alright, next fight, Phil Baroni taking on Joe Riggs. This was just an awesome fight. Very, very technical in the first and the second, more so than I think most people expected. Baroni looked very, very good. He had some cardio, which was impressive. He didn't gas till the early/mid part of the third round. He had some good combinations on the feet, but for the most part, Joe Riggs just controlled this fight. Had the takedowns, had good clinch work. Even though Baroni was, able to shrug off some takedowns, was able to actually, keep Riggs at bay on the ground and actually, have some good defensive posture, not allowing Riggs to get either into his guard or into side control or even into a half guard. Was able to get back to his feet in a couple positions, but Riggs had the back in a couple positions. Riggs had the flying knees, the spinning back fist, Superman punches, just the beautiful leg kicks, man. He just looked on point. Really, really impressive. I was really impressed with Joe Riggs in this fight. He goes on to win a unanimous decision, just eating up Baroni with the striking. Broke both of his hands in this fight, of course, at the end of the fight. He mentioned that he had the flu, so, kudos to him for stepping up and taking this fight, and even, being a warrior throughout the fight after breaking both of his hands. Alright, next fight, Nick Diaz taking on Scott Smith. What can you say about Nick Diaz, man? This kid threw over 300 punches in the fight, landed more than 52% of those with that pitter-patter style that he has. He did good in the clinch, good in the stand-up, just picking apart Scott Smith. At the end of the fight, Scott Smith's face was just eaten up. Scott Smith had a couple good, power shots. He had a beautiful left straight, a couple right hooks that he landed that were flush on the chin. One of those hooks that he threw actually opened up a couple cuts. Actually threw a couple right and left hooks that opened up some cuts over Nick Diaz's eyes. But Scott Smith just got, picked apart in this fight. He got hurt early and hurt mid part of the second, late part in the second with some body shots. In the third, again gets rocked with the body and even a couple shots to the head. Nick Diaz takes his back, sinks the rear naked choke in, and wins this fight. In Strikeforce, it seems like, Diaz has just really found his niche, his home, and even more so, it looks like he's hitting his peak. Whether he fights at 170 or at these catch weights, he's just looked on as of late. So congratulations to him. Hopefully he, gets an impressive fight in his next fight. I'm thinking they might give him Kung Lee. I think that might be the next fight that they give him. For Scott Smith, we'll have to see where he goes from here. All right, next fight, Brett Rogers taking on Andrei Arlovsky. Not much to talk about on this one. This one ended in 22 seconds. and with Arlovsky getting knocked out. Both guys tentative at first. Arlovsky throws an inside leg kick, throws a feint. Brett Rogers throws a feint, then comes forward, exploding. Left, right, catches Arlovsky with a right hook. Left straight that actually knocks Arlovsky out against the cage. He hits him again with a right hook. Another left drops him, and I think he actually turned Arlovsky back on with a hook as Arlovsky was going down. But a justified stoppage. When you looked at it first at the first angle, it looked like they stopped it early, but no, he was out. And even after, when they showed his face, his eyes were just red. That's indicative of a nasty, nasty knockout when you see a guy with red eyes. But Arlovsky loses this fight. Just really was surprised he didn't use any head movement when he was going backwards. Just walked right back and just took the punches. Brett Rogers, has now officially not only made a name for himself in Strikeforce, but a name for himself in MMA. With this knockout, people will now go, oh, who is this guy? That are the casual fan base that didn't know about him. For Arlovsky, I don't know where he goes from here. The suspect chin question, I think, is officially put to rest. It's no longer suspect. I think he does have a weak chin when it comes to guys hitting him with strong shots. Whether he goes into boxing or back into MMA, I don't know. I don't think this diminishes the fact that he's a world-class fighter and he's a world-class heavyweight. But I think this is going to affect his status at the top 10 of the heavyweight rankings. He might even drop out. We'll have to see. All right, main event. Robbie Lawler taking on Jake Shields. This one was just as quick as the one before. 2 minutes and 2 seconds in the first. Both guys tentative on the feet, and then Jake Shields explodes with a leg kick. Tries to throw a couple good combinations. Robbie Lawler throws a couple good combinations, clinches. It comes out of the clinch. Robbie Lawler ducks his head. Jake Shields grabs on, gets an one arm in guillotine choke, drops down to the mat, closes his guard. Now here's the thing with this. Anytime you try to defend a guillotine choke, especially getting an arm in, what you normally would do is you would push on the arm, and in this situation it would have been Jake Shields' right arm, and try to grab the leg in the back with his guard to kind of open it up a little bit if you could. But if you can't, you try to push down on the arm. You don't stand up, and that's what Robbie Lawler did. He stood up. Jake Shields got it in even tighter. Robbie Lawler drops to the mat, taps out, and Jake Shields wins this fight. And I think what some are going to consider an upset via guillotine choke. We really didn't get to see, how Robbie looked, if he was on point, other than, the couple good combinations that he threw, the clinch. We don't know what, Jake Shields, was going to be as far as his shape and as far as, how he would have fared later in the fight. His striking did not look that impressive. He threw a couple good combinations with his hands, but they just were not solid. The leg kick was solid, though, even though it was an off-balance leg kick. It landed, it was flush. If Robbie would have actually came over with an overhand right as soon as Shields threw that off-balance leg kick, he might have caught Shields with the way that his chin was out. So, but nonetheless, this was a good night of fights. Make sure you check it out if you didn't get to see it. Tonight on Stickem.com/MMAXL Radio. I'll put the link right here for you. Me and Carson will be doing a radio show, MMAXL Radio. Check that out, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you check out my sponsors on the description side of this video. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.